Hey guys, Mark from 42freeway.com. Can you believe we've gotten to July and I'm just now doing my first road project video of the year? I think it is at least. I'm going in big. I'm doing the Direct Connection project. We're going to talk about it right now. Coming up next though is the Brooklawn Circle, Route 130, 47, that whole area there. I've actually captured all that video, got some amazing flood video. And then third, I'm going to be starting finally the Glassboro-Camden rail line up coverage. The reason why I've been so far behind on getting updates to you guys is because it takes a huge amount of time for me to collate and edit the video. It's sort of like creating a mini movie. Now, the good thing is with the Direct Connection, I have been going there very regularly. I literally have 10 different days that I've been back to the project and I've captured all those videos. So this is sort of a multi-dimensional video. Not only am I going through the different segments, horizontally, the bridge rebuild, the columns, the wall, of course. In each of those segments, I have multiple days of video to take you through to show you the progress. Heck, for the wall, I take you back to last year in 2023 when they started tearing down the wall, and I show you how fast they ripped that thing apart. So it's some really cool video. It just made, I think I have over 500 video files that I reviewed to put this thing together today. I made the problem worse for myself. If I just keep up with the videos and do them on a regular basis, it doesn't get out of hand. So hang with me here. We got a lot of good things to talk about. Oh, and some bonus content. We talk about when this thing is now expected to be completed. And I also review the ramp, the Dukes of Hazzard ramp, which I think is important to understand the value of the whole project. Before we talk about when this thing's going to be finished, I think it's important to understand when it actually started. So I found the press release from March of 2013 that announced the start of the construction. I know it's accurate because I have photos from less than a month later. This is the Bellmawr Little League field where they had started clearing out behind the field all the shrubs and the trees because they were building the elevated roadway and the sound barrier walls. I took these pictures today. One of the first things that they completed on this project was these raised roadway and the barrier walls. So you're looking at a project like $1 billion or more. How does the federal government decide which projects get sponsored, which gets paid for, what's important? Well, politicians submit their ideas and requests to a regional planning commission, and ours is the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. There's dozens of them around the country. Interestingly enough, the Jersey Shore has their own. So this project has been pitched to the Regional Planning Commission, and every time there's a change to the project, whether it's money, scope, or time length, they have to review it. So back in March, I sat in on a virtual meeting where they reviewed contract 4, which is the final contract. They did have to raise it another $10 million, but the most significant thing is the new date for the completion of this is stated to be 2032. So if we go back to when I said this thing officially started in 2013, we're looking at a 19-year window for this project. Okay, we're going to start with the Browning Road Bridge rebuild project. The bridge section that's going top to bottom right there where car just drove over, that is a temporary bridge that they're doing. This is over 42 and 76. They want to rebuild this local roadway in place, this bridge in place. Across the way there, you're seeing that yellow piece of equipment. All of that construction next to it is brand new construction in the last few months. We're going to go back in time, February 23rd. This is a wider angle shot. Let's zoom in, get a better look at this. Same spot, same piece of yellow equipment there. You can see it, right? It was just an empty hole then, guys. So going back to February 23rd, there really was nothing there. But look at this, April 15th. What's that, 6 weeks later? Cleared out. They have, you see the 4 columns of rebar? Well, that is going to be poured concrete around that in a tube. That is going to carry a lot of the weight where the bridge is going to rest. Guys, May 3rd, check this out. 3/4 of the wall is developed there. They got it backfilled. There's actually people and equipment on that surface that they just created, the raised surface there. I wanted to call this out. 3 weeks. Look how much progress happened in 3 weeks from literally no concrete poured and open space to 3/4 of the way done. We're going to jump ahead one more time. May 28th. It looks pretty much done there on May 28th. Maybe 80% done on those front panels, the support panels there. And then we're going to close out this segment with today, June 30th, just 1 week ago. I'm not saying it's done, but it looks pretty close to done, at least this segment. Okay, before we dive into the next construction elements, which are the tall columns and the wall, of course, I want to talk to you about this ramp right here. I get a lot of questions on the ramp, and the reason why I'm doing this right now is if you understand why this ramp is here, you understand really the core principle of the entire $1 billion project, and it also does fit into the next 2 construction elements I want to talk about. Now put your seatbelts on because we're hyperspace. 42 North to 295 North. We've all done this probably every week. Many of you are doing this every day commuting to work. You take this exit off to the right. Now I want to slow up here and just point out that look at that. There's that ramp tucked away in there. You can't really get to it right now, right? Well, we're going to continue on this roadway. Doesn't it feel sort of like not permanent? Like this can't be the way it's supposed to be. It's like a roller coaster ride. We're up high, we're down low, we're riding low. You're just waiting for a loop to come. And then there's just like this wicked bend where you're low and you come back up and then a tunnel. It's like Williamsburg's Busch Gardens. I was waiting for like the water to splash on me at the end there. Guys, that is not how we're going to use the 42 North to 295. In fact, that entire exit will not be there when the construction project is done. We're going to use that ramp. 42 North is going to come right into the ramp here for those wanting to go to 295 North. The reason for the whole project is, if you're coming from Cherry Hill, 295 South, you got that wicked bend. We call it Aljo's Curve. The traffic goes down to 35 miles an hour, a lot of accidents. They want to straighten it out. That's what that green line is. It's the best, straightest line they could come up with. That's what they're building right now. So as I said, that red highlighted area right there, that's going to go away. That's what we use today. Instead, we're going to go up that ramp. And what I tried to show with the purple line there is, you're going to be up in the air the entire time. Up in the air, over the Browning Road Bridge, up in the air, and then you're going to connect with that bigger wall section over there. The green line in the distance is the core 295. Remember how I showed you they want to sort of straighten out 295 as much as it is? So there'll actually be two segments of roadway up in the air for a considerable distance. So as I'm closing here this is what the new direct connection is going to be. A nice straighter, that green curve line as opposed to that big bulbous red line that we had before. Back to the construction updates. Rolling off of Browning Road, we're heading over to the tall columns. Well, actually, we've had columns for a couple years. What they've added is the headers at the top. The two closest to us are 295 North and South. The one in the distance is 42 North. It matches up to what we just learned about from the ramps. Here we are back in February of this year. Those headers did not exist at the top there. April 1st, we're looking at this from behind. The one in the distance closest to the bridge looks ready to go, basically. April 15th, they both are in great shape. There's actually some workers walking around the perimeter there on the ledge. Jumping ahead to May 3rd, you can see it looks basically done. There's still some support barriers there. And by the 28th of May, I think this portion of the project is completed. And just to give you an understanding of how much work they did in a few short months this year, you got the top segment with them pumping concrete with no headers in place. And then you got the bottom segment with the completed columns. Okay, now we're moving on to the star of the show, the wall rebuild. Guys, it's only been about a year since they started taking down the old wall and rebuilding. They've made significant progress. This video you're looking at right now is just from last week. They haven't put out, NJDOT hasn't put out sort of an overview of the new design aspects. They've called out some bullets, some structural things, and so I'm going to give you some observational things that sort of blend in some NJDOT bullets, and then also what we're seeing right here. One big thing, this is when the wall collapsed, and I'm going to bring in how the wall looks today. One of the facets that contributed to the collapse is that the old design was sort of raised up on a sloped berm. Look at the lower section there. It's much more level and flat. You know, so they flattened the land out in front, which means the dirt has more resistance to hold the wall up. We're just going to take a slow scroll down. You're going to notice, so first off, that concrete, like sort of sidewalk with the raised platform, guys, that's not actually at the edge of the wall. That's inset in the wall. And that's not something I'm entirely clear why they did it that way. You can also see all the little pimples popping out at the bottom there. We're going to take a look at that and tell you what that is. So let's go back to May 15, 2023. This is a year ago when they really just started tearing down the wall. You can see a couple pieces of machinery there, just digging in. They got to get out the old stuff before they build in the new. 2 days later, they had already advanced pretty far in just a couple of days. By the way, they did leave the back portion of the wall that was determined, the roadway there that was determined to be in good shape, I guess. We're jumping ahead to just the 24th. This is just a couple weeks later. Look how much they've taken out. They've cleared out and built some sort of temporary ramps to move the equipment in and out. Still have some of the concrete retaining wall on the right. June 7th, what is this, a month later? Basically within a month, this is 2023, they had the core of the old wall removed. Jumping ahead just to the 27th, 8 weeks later, You can already start seeing some of the pieces of steel going in. Oh, there we go, 6 weeks. I forgot I did a split here. Look how much progress they did in 6 weeks last year in breaking things down. Now already in July 19th of 2023, they started construction. You can see a line of white concrete there at the base of that asphalt. I believe that angled asphalt is really just to hold the wall in the dirt in place while they do this work. This is an excellent drone shot here where, I did this when no one was on the construction site. It was a weekend shot. August 17th, this is only a few months after they started this. You can really start seeing that they're starting to build the process of the new wall with that interior concrete platform. November 5th, it almost looks like a sidewalk. Now note here that the ground in front of that sort of sidewalk patio slab is the same level. It doesn't stay that way. In fact, as we scroll over to the right here, you'll see it already dips down. My thought, and this is just my thoughts on this, is that they want to sort of have an interior wall to help hold the dirt in place with that angle. Now check out the spikes. If you remember seeing the Superman movie, the bad guy's headquarters up in the North Pole, it had those ice spikes. That's what it reminds me of. By the way, one of the bad guys is a Triton graduate, Jack O'Halloran. Just another angle from further out to show you those spikes. Those spikes do not stay in that position. April 1st of this year, 2024, guys, look, you can see now they sort of look like little pimples. What they've done is, this is the front foundation of the wall that's going to, that's holding a lot of the weight back. So they have driven hundreds of these steel support spikes down into the ground, down into the bedrock, and they're going to build a foundation on top of that. Now, I think what that interior wall is doing is that's going to carry a lot of the load also, so that that front wall isn't doing it all by itself. But look how many of those structures, those steel beams, have been driven, pile driven into the ground to hold things up. And this is a good angle here if you pay attention. Notice the sort of the sidewalk raised wall. It's a good 20, 25, 30 feet, I don't know, from the exterior wall. So that is inset on the roadway. Here we have a wider shot here. Now on the right-hand side, I should have went wider with this angle. I think the wall and things are going to extend further out. This is maybe a better angle here, but I'm not entirely sure how that is. I did try an OPA request to get some details on what the redesign would be, and I got denied because I wasn't crisp enough in my request. June 30th, this is current. What a great shot there. Like, what a lot of progress they've done in probably 13, 14 months. Great job, guys. And the last construction segment in this update video is the slope next to the tunnel. As you can see, there's a lower retaining wall there and then nicely landscaped slope. It's not as steep as it used to be. I don't have a clear video of this, but let's go back a year ago. Basically what was happening, it was a much steeper grade slope there, and there was some slippage taking place. And I think what happened is the engineers decided, let's build a retaining wall, raise it up so we don't need to have as steep a slope. You can see going back to last year, they had put a temporary wall in. November, they had already built the lower level retaining concrete wall. Here in April of 2024, they had the landscaping starting. They're sort of regrading it to make it nice and smooth. Jumping ahead to June, just last week. Guys, it looks like something out of Epcot, right? It's a Disney sort of landscape piece. That segment looks completely done. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I'm Mark from 42freeway.com. My main thing is I am the guy that finds out about all the new things coming to South Jersey. It could be cool restaurants, cool retail, or even another dollar store. I write it up, a nice article on my website, share it to Facebook, but then I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, and you're finding me on YouTube right now. So be sure to follow me across all of my platforms. Facebook usually gets the information first, though, guys.